Welcome to channel Qtomation. In our previous session, we have seen how to send a post request payload by using hashmap. So this is one of the way of sending payload in our post request by using rest assured. Today we will see one more way, that is by using org.json library. So the previous approach of using hashmap is very ideal if you have some limited data which can be hard coded format. In such situation we can use hashmap. But in real time scenario, data can be dynamic, it can be in large scale, there can be multiple parameters. In such situation, using hashmap is not recommended. In such cases, we can also use org.json library. So today we will see how to use org.json library to send post request payload by using rest assured. So to use that, what we have to do is, let's go to Eclipse. Before using org.json library, first we have to import that library in our pom.xml. So in pom.xml file, we have to put that specific dependency because that external library is not part of our project yet. So to add that dependency, what we can do is we can search for org.json maven library. So if you search org.json maven and if you go to their website, in maven repository, we can see this is org.json. We can take the latest version. We have to simply copy this code. So let's copy this one and we have to simply add this code in our pom.xml file. Once you add this dependency in pom.xml, it will automatically import that dependency in our project. So I will just add that here and let's save this file. After adding and saving this file, it will automatically import that org.json library in our project. And now after that we can create a new class. Let's create a new class. I'm naming it as payload. Last session we have seen how to use hashmap. In today's session we will see how to send payload by using org.json. So I have created one class. After creating this class, what is the next step now? I will just copy the code from our last session. So we have to also import all the packages. So I will just go to our previous sessions code. I will just copy all these packages. Let's paste it here. And let's copy the previous code as well because we are going to change a little bit of things and most of the code will remain the same. I'm just pasting all that part here. So we have created one method called as a create product. In previous session we have used hashmap, but this time we are not going to use hashmap. But API we are going to use the similar. So I will just delete these two lines. And rest of the things are same as our previous session. So we are going to use which API? This is the API which we are going to use. This is a sample post API request which we are going to use. So for that, when we are using org.json, we have to create object of JSON object class. So in this method, what I will do, I will just create one method, just create one object, let's say JSON object data equals to new JSON object class object. If you hover this, we have to import this JSON object package. Once you import this JSON object class, we have created a data object just like our previous session. In previously what we have done, since we have this request payload which contains name, its value, it also contains data which again has some four values. So data is a separate object which is part of this original JSON body. So name we have to pass, and we have to also pass this data object. So I will first create data object. I will add these values in that data object, and then we can enter that data object we can add in this outer data object, product data object we can say. So this is overall the JSON body which we have to create. So we have already created in our last session also. So this is similar to that. Only difference is previously we have created hash map object. Now we are creating a data object of JSON object class. After creating this object, in this data we are adding year, price, CPU model, hard disk size. All this value we have added in our data object. Now we will create one more object for, let's create one more. I'm naming it as product data, product underscore data, which is object of JSON object class. And again in that we have to put name. This is the name which you have to put, and this previously created data object. So this previously created data object also we have to add here. Why we have added here? Because our, if you see the original request body, it is a nested. If you see, this is a name along with the value, and it contains one more JSON object, one more nested JSON format. That's why we have created a separate data object which in which we have added all these values, and then we have added this data along with this name in this main JSON object. So after adding this, we have created this product data JSON object, and then again we have to use given, when, and then. That part also remains same. Only one more difference we have to understand here is when we are passing body. So when we are using JSON data, JSON object, and when we are passing this body, in this body we are passing this product underscore data, which is the JSON object which we have created. This JSON object we have to convert to string. That is the only difference here. So we have to use toString method to convert it into a string format, and then we can pass that into our request body. In previous session, if you see, when we used hash map, in that case we don't have to pass this dots toString method. We were passing as it is. But when we are using JSON object, we have to first convert it into a string format, and then we can pass that body to request in post request. Rest of the things will remain as it is. Again we have to use this post request type along with this endpoint. Then we are validating the status code to be 200. We are printing the response in console, and then we are validating name is containing this one and data dot year contains 2019. So this is how we can use JSON object. org.json library we have to first import in pom.xml. Then we can import that JSON object class in our code. We can create a data object of JSON object class, and then we have to put all those value according to our request payload. Now let's save this file and let's execute this file. So let run as testng test. We have to execute this file, run as testng test. So the file is getting executed. If you see, test case got passed. It also printed the console response. Response is printed in our console. So that means we are able to successfully pass our request body, request payload in this post request by using rest assured. So this is how we can do via using org.json library. So far what we have seen, in rest assured we can pass payload in the post request by using hash map also. Today we have also seen how to use org.json library. What we have done, we have just imported org.json dependency in our project. Inside this pom.xml, if you see this pom.xml file, in this we have added this org.json library dependency, so that this library got added in our project. After that we have created a new class, and we have created our body. For example, we have created object of JSON object. First, we have created data object which contain year, price, and other information. And then we have created product data object which contain this data one along with the name. We have done that because this is our request body which contains name and data object. If you see, this is also a nested JSON format. So that's why we have created two times JSON objects. And the previously created we have added in the new JSON object. And combinedly we have passed that JSON object after converting to string format. When we are using JSON object, we have to convert it to string and then we have to pass that in our body. And rest of the things will remain as it is. So this is the way by using JSON object we can send post request payload in REST assured. In next session, we will see two more ways. For example, by using external JSON file and how to use Pojo class, that is plain old Java object, that we will see in our next session. So I hope you understood the concept and also understood the examples as well. Thank you everyone.